And if he is doing what I think he might be doing in Europe, to guarantee that he's able to go play 65 games this year
and possibly make a playoff run,
and maybe make the playoffs and make a run with Luka and whatnot. As a fan, if I were a Laker fan, I support it. I support it 100%. I just would rather not be lied to. It just seems very weird to me that he all of a sudden has sciatica out of the blue that we've never heard of before, and we know everything about him because he's a public figure for so long. And then all of a sudden, 3 weeks from now, 5 weeks from now, he's going to show up and play 40 minutes a game and look like he's 25 years old again.
Craig Carton didn't hold back when talking about LeBron James. He came out with strong criticism from the start. There was no hesitation, no sugarcoating. He raised questions about LeBron's injury, the timing behind it, and the overall circumstances, sparking immediate debate across the sports world. Rather than making any direct accusations of wrongdoing, Carton voiced concerns that many major media personalities have avoided discussing publicly. According to him, the situation simply doesn't seem to make complete sense. And when even the slightest uncertainty surrounds LeBron James, it quickly grows into a massive controversy.
There's a reason cats go to Europe when they need some help physically and medically to be able to play the level they want to play at. Like I've said in baseball, you know, I encourage my favorite baseball players to do as many steroids as possible.
Well, I do.
Do you believe LeBron's injury is genuine? Or do you think there's a bigger story unfolding behind the scenes? Share your opinion in the comments below. Be honest and say what you really think. I'm curious to hear your perspective because this could end up being one of the most talked about LeBron controversies we've seen in a long time.
Pretty good. Looked pretty healthy to me right there.
He did.
Yeah, right. Remember when he put out his own video of him working out with like 125 pounds on the barbell, doing squats and whatnot? I mean, good. He's in great shape, obviously, right?
Yeah.
And then, of course, he did the big Hennessy reveal. Looked great, walking to the chair, drinking some Hennessy.
That had been recorded.
Well, it's looked fantastic.
Yeah.
So it comes out yesterday that LeBron James is out for 3 or 4 weeks minimum.
Yeah.
Will miss the start of this NBA season because he has sciatica. Sciatica is an old person's disease, which it's like pain that radiates from your lower back, usually down one of your legs. That's the stereotypical sciatica.
Yeah. As soon as Carton began speaking, the conversation changed from simple concern to open criticism. This was no ordinary discussion about an injury. Instead, he challenged a story surrounding one of the NBA's biggest and most closely watched superstars. A sudden sciatica diagnosis, several weeks away from the court, and the possibility of returning fully healthy without much warning all caught his attention. Carton described the situation as unusual, carefully timed, and almost too convenient. He didn't claim to have evidence. He simply pointed to what he viewed as a series of questionable circumstances. And when LeBron James is involved, even those observations are enough to spark a major debate.
Back pain, oh my God. And it goes down the leg, and it's not fun, right? It's very rare for a well-conditioned athlete in his prime, or even just past his prime, to have sciatica. Unless you're like, I suppose, like one of these guys that's like a heavy weightlifter, and you're using your lower back muscles a lot, that kind of thing. And I'm calling BS on it.
Well, why?
Because I just saw him dancing last week, and that's not to do with sciatica, right? I hate to be that guy, but this seems to be the current norm for LeBron, where he's not ready to, either going into like an all-star break or to start a season or doing a quote-unquote meaningless part of the season and disappears.
The reality is that LeBron James has never been viewed like an ordinary athlete. For his entire career, he's been under a different level of scrutiny. Every decision is examined, every missed game is questioned, and every return becomes a major headline. So when reports surfaced that he would be sidelined with a nerve-related issue just before the season, many people weren't only wondering how serious the injury was. They were asking a different question. Why did it happen now? Why did it come after months of appearing completely healthy? Why after workouts, commercials, and public appearances where he showed no obvious physical limitations? Those are the questions Carton focused on as he pushed the discussion even further.
That perhaps it's not sciatica, and he has lied about injuries before. Remember when he claimed that he wouldn't have been able to play in Game 6 last year in the playoffs had they not been eliminated because all of a sudden he had some type of MCL sprain?
Yeah.
And literally the next day he was dancing right?
Yeah.
And doing like the move with your knees where you can't do that if you got sprained MCL.
Yeah, like a version of the butterfly felt like, yeah.
So, I get it. And if he is doing what I think he might be doing in Europe to guarantee that he's able to go play 65 games this year
and possibly make a playoff run,
and maybe make the playoffs and make a run with Luka and whatnot, as a fan, if I were a Laker fan, I support it. I support it 100%. I just would rather not be lied to.
Carton never made direct accusations or claimed he had evidence, but he strongly suggested that fans are capable of drawing their own conclusions. People notice what they're seeing. A player looks energetic and explosive throughout the summer, then suddenly is dealing with a condition serious enough to keep him off the court. A superstar celebrated for his durability, unexpectedly stepping away before the season's toughest stretch even begins. On its own, that could simply be an injury. But when it comes to LeBron James, very little is viewed in isolation. Every situation is shaped by past events, public perception, and the expectations that have followed him throughout his career.
And I want to be clear. I'm not accusing him of doing it. I'm not saying he is doing it. I'm saying I wouldn't be surprised if that's what this ruse is all about. It just seems very weird to me that he all of a sudden has sciatica out of the blue that we've never heard of before, and we know everything about him because he's a public figure for so long. And then all of a sudden, 3 weeks from now, 5 weeks from now, he's going to show up and play 40 minutes a game and look like he's 25 years old again. There's a reason cats go to Europe when they need some help physically and medically to be able to play at a level they want to play at.
Carton's remarks gained attention because they touched on a discussion that has surrounded LeBron for years: his incredible longevity, his ability to dominate at an age when most NBA legends have already declined. He continues performing at a level many players a decade younger would envy. While countless fans admire that achievement, others naturally wonder how he's been able to sustain it. Not necessarily because they assume any wrongdoing, but because basketball has rarely seen anything comparable. When an athlete does something that feels unprecedented, questions often follow. Sciatica itself is a legitimate and potentially serious medical condition. It can disrupt an entire season. It can linger for months. It has affected elite athletes before. But public opinion isn't usually shaped by medical explanations alone. It's shaped by what people see with their own eyes. Before the announcement, LeBron appeared healthy, active, and physically strong in public appearances. That contrast is what fueled much of the online reaction. It also gave Carton reason to suggest that the situation simply didn't feel consistent to him. From there, the discussion quickly expanded beyond the injury itself and shifted toward LeBron's overall legacy. Few athletes in sports history have had every career move examined as closely as LeBron James. Every performance, every injury, and every major decision becomes part of the ongoing GOAT debate. Names like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan, and Steph Curry are constantly used as benchmarks for comparison. So, whenever LeBron's career includes unexpected absences or well-timed returns, critics often view those moments as opportunities to question the bigger picture. It's important to separate speculation from fact. There has never been any proven case connecting LeBron James to performance-enhancing drugs. He has never been suspended for PED use, failed a drug test, or been found in violation of NBA anti-drug policies. Those facts remain unchanged. Even so, sports history has taught many fans to be cautious whenever an athlete seems to outperform the normal effects of aging. From baseball to cycling to track and field, several dominant stars have faced intense scrutiny over the years. As a result, when a 40-year-old NBA superstar continues to look physically elite, some people begin drawing conclusions despite having no evidence to support them. Carton also referenced another topic that frequently appears in conversations about elite athletes: traveling overseas for specialized medical treatment. That's nothing new in professional sports. Kobe Bryant and many other high-level athletes have pursued advanced recovery methods or therapies outside the United States. Alternative treatments and cutting-edge rehabilitation options are common among competitors looking to extend their careers. However, once suspicion enters the conversation, even completely legitimate medical decisions can be interpreted in a different light. That's often where speculation begins to move faster than the available facts. The timing of LeBron's announcements also contributes to the discussion. Throughout his career, he has carefully managed his public image, from major career decisions to business ventures and media appearances. Many view that as smart strategy rather than criticism. Still, when injury news arrives shortly after high-profile public events, some observers don't see coincidence. Instead, they believe the messaging is carefully planned and begin questioning the authenticity of everything surrounding it. There's also a broader cultural reason these debates never seem to disappear. LeBron has been one of basketball's biggest stars for more than 20 years. That level of constant attention naturally creates fatigue among some fans. It's not always dislike. Sometimes it's simply the expectation that every superstar eventually declines. When that decline doesn't arrive on schedule, people start searching for explanations that fit the story they expect to see. Most legendary players follow a familiar career arc, but LeBron has consistently challenged that pattern. Year after year, he has adjusted his game, invested heavily in recovery, and continued performing at an elite level. That's why the conversation never really goes away. Some people see it as the result of evolution and dedication, while others continue asking questions. Carton's comments reflected that tension by raising doubts without making direct accusations. Another reason the discussion gained momentum is LeBron's reputation for remarkable durability. For much of his career, he rarely missed significant time, regularly played through injuries, and logged heavy minutes deep into the postseason. That reliability created the expectation that he would always be available. Because of that history, any extended absence naturally attracts more attention than it would for most players. Carton ultimately suggested this perspective. If LeBron sits out for several weeks and then returns looking refreshed, explosive, and highly productive, would anyone truly be shocked? Not because there's evidence of misconduct, but because that's been the pattern throughout his career. Whenever critics predict that he's finally slowing down, he often responds with another stretch of elite performances. As long as that cycle continues, the debate surrounding LeBron James is unlikely to disappear. The GOAT debate almost guarantees that this story won't disappear anytime soon. Every game LeBron plays after returning will be examined closely. Every highlight, every dunk, and every statistic will become part of the discussion. His supporters will credit years of discipline, conditioning, and preparation. His critics will focus on a level of longevity that seems to exceed normal expectations. The reality, however, is likely far more complex than either side suggests. Some questions simply don't have easy answers. It's also worth remembering the human side of the situation. Sciatica is not a minor injury. It's a nerve condition that can affect movement, stability, and overall performance. Recovery is often unpredictable. One day an athlete may feel completely normal, while the next day the pain can be overwhelming. For a 40-year-old player still pursuing championships, managing that uncertainty is a major challenge. Taking time away from the court isn't necessarily about comfort. It's about preserving a body that's endured more than 2 decades of elite competition. Unfortunately, public opinion rarely leaves much room for nuance. Fans often want definitive answers instead of uncertainty. When those answers aren't available, speculation tends to fill the void. Carton's comments didn't create that atmosphere. They reflected questions that were already circulating among basketball fans. His remarks simply amplified the skepticism that already existed. That skepticism is closely tied to LeBron's legacy. At this stage of his career, every season shapes how future generations will remember him. Each successful year strengthens his place among basketball's all-time greats. Every absence gives critics another talking point. Every return becomes another chapter in the debate. The facts remain straightforward. There is no evidence of wrongdoing. There has been no confirmed manipulation of any kind. What exists is an injury, a recovery timeline, and one of the most closely watched athletes in sports history. Still, in professional sports, public perception often becomes just as influential as the facts themselves. What happens next will likely shape how this episode is remembered. If LeBron returns gradually, eases back into action, and shows signs of normal wear and tear, much of the conversation may fade away. It will simply look like a veteran navigating the later stages of an extraordinary career. But if he comes back looking explosive, posting huge numbers, playing heavy minutes, and moving with the energy of a much younger player, the speculation will quickly return. That's one of the costs of sustained greatness. The higher you perform, the more people search for explanations. The longer you remain elite, the more questions follow. LeBron has lived with that reality for years. He's been praised, criticized, celebrated, and doubted, often all at the same time. Carton's comments were certainly provocative, but they also reflected a larger trend in today's sports culture. Fans no longer just watch the games. They analyze every storyline surrounding them. They question motives, examine timing, and challenge official explanations. And when the biggest name in basketball is involved, those conversations become even louder. At the center of it all is LeBron James. He's still chasing championships, still dominating headlines, and still generating debates unlike almost any other athlete. Whether this injury is simply part of the wear and tear of a long career or a situation that's been misunderstood by the public, one thing hasn't changed. The spotlight remains firmly on him. When LeBron returns, every moment will be under the microscope. Supporters will be ready to celebrate. Critics will be ready to question. Analysts will compare every performance to everything that came before it. Each possession will be dissected, and every great game will become another piece of the ongoing conversation. This has become about far more than a sciatica diagnosis. It's about how people view greatness. It's about dedication, longevity, and the limits of what the human body can accomplish. For more than 2 decades, LeBron has challenged those limits, and now even his recovery has become part of the story. Now the focus shifts to what comes next. If LeBron returns and immediately looks dominant, expect the debate to grow even louder with every performance. But what do you think? Is this simply an experienced veteran carefully managing his body, or do you believe there's more to the story? Share your opinion in the comments, leave a like if you enjoy in-depth NBA discussions, and subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter when LeBron steps back onto the court and all eyes are on him again.